Prepare yourself for a chilling journey through Iowa's countryside, where the serene landscape of sprawling fields and time-worn structures hide a more sinister reality. These aren't your average rural buildings. They're the settings of unnerving stories that will send shivers down your spine. Envision strolling through Iowa's heartland, only to find that the seemingly deserted barns and farmhouses are teeming with unsettling whispers, shifting shadows, and spectral figures that will set your pulse racing. Imagine the spectral sound of invisible hooves pounding in the night, or the sight of ghostly inhabitants haunting the long-abandoned stables. Iowa's bucolic settings are the backdrop for a collection of truly haunting encounters. These are more than just stories shared by the flickering light of a campfire. They're genuine experiences that will leave you pondering the mysterious figures that may hide just behind the reach of the light. So grab your favorite ghost story snacks and hot beverage, and let's dig in. Near Cedar Rapids, there's a spooky story about a ghostly farmer. Long ago, this farmer lived on a farm, but something sad happened. People say he lost someone he loved very much, and now he's always looking for him. Even though the farm is empty now, the farmer's ghost still walks around, searching for his lost love. Some folks claim they've seen him wandering the fields or standing near the old farmhouse. Others say they've heard his ghostly voice calling out in the dark. It's a sad and spooky tale that makes you wonder about the mysteries of love and loss. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the story of the spectral farmer near Cedar Rapids sticks with you, reminding you of the power of love and longing, even beyond the grave. In Dubuque County, there's a strange story about cows that vanish without a trace. Farmers tell tales of waking up to find their cattle missing, with no sign of where they've gone. Some believe that ghosts are behind it, taking the cows away for reasons unknown. Others think it might be something else, like aliens or thieves. But no matter the explanation, the mystery remains unsolved. People in Dubuque County still talk about the disappearing cattle, wondering if they'll be the next ones to lose their livestock. It's a spooky story that makes you look twice at your animals, wondering if they might disappear into thin air too. Whether it's ghosts or something else, the vanishing cows of Dubuque County are a strange and unsettling mystery that keeps people on edge. Around Waterloo, there's a tale about a spooky windmill. People say that on nights when the moon is bright, the windmill makes a moaning sound. It's like the windmill is sad or crying about something. Some folks even claim they've heard it themselves, sounding like a person in pain. But when they go to check, there's no one there. It's a mystery that leaves people feeling uneasy, wondering what could be making the windmill wail like that. Some say it's just the wind blowing through the old blades, but others believe it's something more sinister, like a ghost trapped in the machinery. Whatever the cause, the moaning windmill near Waterloo is a spooky sight and sound that sticks with you long after you've heard it. Along the Mississippi River, there's a story about a ghostly farmer. People say he rides his plow through the fields, even though he's not alive anymore. They call him the Phantom Plowman. He's like a ghost from the past, doing his work over and over again. Some folks have seen him from far away, but when they get closer, he disappears into thin air. It's a spooky sight that makes you wonder about the mysteries of the river and the land around it. Some say the phantom plowman is looking for something that he lost a long time ago, while others think he's just stuck in a loop, repeating the same actions forever. Whatever the reason, the sight of the ghostly farmer along the Mississippi River is enough to send shivers down your spine. In a place called Moaning, there's a story about a ghostly gathering near an old barn. People say that on some nights, when the moon is full, you can see ghostly figures dancing and laughing around the abandoned building. It's like they're having a party, but they're not there. Some folks have even heard the sound of music and laughter coming from the barn, even though there's nobody inside. It's a spooky sight that makes you wonder about the people who used to live there and what happened to them. Some say they were farmers who lost everything, while others believe they were just spirits who can't find their way home. In a place called Davenport, there's a spooky story about a cursed cornfield. People say that a long time ago, there was a big fire that burned down everything in the field. Some folks believe that the spirits of the people who died in the fire still haunt the cornfield. They say that they can hear the voices whispering in the wind, telling stories of what happened that night. Others claim to have seen ghostly figures moving along the stalks, their face twisted in agony. It's a scary sight that makes you wonder about the history of the land and the people who live there. Some say the spirits are angry and looking for revenge, while others think they're just lost souls trying to find peace. In a place called Sioux City, there's a spooky tale about an old silo. People say that a shadowy figure haunts the silo, lurking in its dark depths. Some folks claim to have seen this figure late at night, lurking in the shadows and beckoning unsuspecting wanderers closer. They say it's like the silo is calling out to them, drawing them in with its eerie presence. Others have heard strange whispers coming from inside the silo, as if the very walls were speaking to them. It's a creepy sight that makes you wonder about the secrets hidden within the old structure. Some say the shadowy figure is a ghost trapped in the silo, while others believe it's something more sinister. Near Cedar Falls, there's a spooky story about an old granary. People say that a long time ago, a farmer lived there and worked hard to grow his crops. But things didn't go well, and the farmer became very sad and angry. Some folks believe that a spirit still haunts the granary, causing strange things to happen. They say you can hear his ghostly voice shouting in the night, and sometimes things move on their own. Others claim to have seen his ghostly figure standing in the fields, watching over the land. It's a scary tale that makes you wonder about the farmer's past and what drove him to such sadness. Some say he's still searching for peace, while others think he's seeking revenge. Near the Cedar River, there's a spooky story about an old farmhouse and a ghostly lantern. People say that long ago, a family lived there and used a lantern to guide them in the dark. But something bad happened, and now the farmhouse is empty. Some folks believe that the family spirit still lingers, and the lantern floats around in the ruins of night. They say it moves like someone's carrying it, even though there's nobody there. Others claim to have seen the lantern glowing in the distance, leading lost souls to their final resting place. It's a mysterious sight that makes you wonder about the family who once lived there. Some say they're still searching for something that they lost, while others think they're just protecting the land. In a place called Mason City, there's a spooky tale about a haunted wheat field. People say that the field whispers with the voices of the departed. Some folks believe it's haunted by the spirits of those who once lived there. They say you can hear the voices in the wind, telling stories of the past. Others claim to have seen ghostly figures moving among the wheat, faces pale and their eyes hollow. It's a strange sight that makes you wonder about the history of the land. Some say the spirits are lost and looking for a way home, while others think they're just trying to send a message. Near Burlington, there's a spooky story about a phantom barn dance. People say that on nights when the moon is hidden, you can hear the sound of fiddles playing and people laughing near the old barn. But when you go to check, there's nobody there. Some folks believe it's the spirits of the past having a ghostly party. They say you can even hear the sound of dancing feet and clapping hands. Others claim to have seen ghostly figures moving around the barn, their shapes blurry and their faces hidden in the shadows. It's a strange sight that makes you wonder about the history of the place. Some say the spirits are just having fun, while others think they're looking for something that they lost a long time ago. In Fort Dodge, there's a spooky tale about an old mill. People say that a long time ago, something bad happened there, and now it's haunted by a malevolent spirit. Some folks believe that the spirits drive trespassers to madness with their sinister whispers. They say you can hear the whispers in the wind, warning you to stay away. And others claim to have seen shadowy figures lurking around the mill, their eyes glowing with malice. It's a scary sight that makes you wonder about the dark secrets hidden within the old building. Some say the spirits are seeking revenge for past wrongs, while others think it's just evil for evil's sake. In Ames, there's a spooky story about an old hayloft. People say that a long time ago, a stable hand met a tragic end there. Some folks believe that the stable hand's ghost still haunts the hayloft, crying out in anguish. They say you can hear the ghostly cries echoing through the night, like someone in pain. Others claim to have seen strange shadows moving around the hayloft, their shapes twisting and turning in the darkness. Such a creepy sight that makes you wonder about the fate of the stable hand and what happened in that hayloft. Some say the ghost is trapped there, unable to move on, while others think it's trying to just tell a story. In Council Bluffs, there's a spooky story about a ghostly woman in white. People say she wanders the grounds of her old homestead, mourning the loss of her children. Some believe she's looking for them, while others think she's trapped between this world and the next. They say you can hear her wailing through the night, her voice full of sadness and longing. Others claim to have seen her ghostly figure moving around the ruins of her home, her white dress glowing in the moonlight. It's a haunting sight that makes you wonder about the woman's story and what happened to her family. Some say she's searching for peace, while others think she's warning people to stay away. In Iowa City, there's a spooky story about a phantom horseman. People say he rides through the night on a ghostly horse, leaving no hoof prints behind. Some believe he's a spirit from the past, while others think he's just a trick of the moonlight. They say you can hear the sound of his horse's hooves echoing in the darkness, but when you look, there's nobody there. Others claim to have seen his ghostly figure riding through the streets, his cloak billowing behind him. A tale of a heartbroken woman named Lucinda is said to haunt Stony Hollow Road. According to legend, she was planning to meet the love of her life just outside of town to elope. The man, however, never showed. Heartbroken, Lucinda committed suicide by jumping off a cliff. There are many reports of people seeing the ghost. Local urban legend also says that if you say her name 3 times, she will appear, and if she drops a rose for you, you will die the following day. Coe College is said to be haunted by a ghost of a girl named Helen Roberts, who died on October 19th, 1918. She was once a resident of Hees Hall and died during the influenza epidemic. Her spirit now has taken up residence inside of an old grandfather clock in the building where she once lived. It had been donated to the school by Helen's parents after her death. During the night, the spirit is said to appear beside students' beds and slamming doors and pulling the covers off the beds. Legend has it that a fiery 1920s train accident killed many of its passengers. One of the train cars was filled with orphan children, all of whom burned and perished in the crash. It is rumored that the ghostly children can still be heard crying, and sometimes the smell of burning is reported. People have reported seeing the spirit of a little girl in a white dress wandering through the woods. There is a legend about this old house in Clarion. They say if you go into the house and walk upstairs and take one of the old family photos home and sleep with it, that when you wake up, the photo will be gone. And when you go back into that house, the photo will be back on the floor where you found it, and there will be a dark figure in the picture. The figure is George, and he will haunt you after you touch the photograph. They say that if you let him touch you, he will take part of your soul. So as the last page turns on this collection of ghost stories, we find ourselves emerging from the depths of Iowa's moonlit cornfields and the skeletal remains of its abandoned farms, with a sense of reverence for the land and its lingering spirits. The ghost stories of Iowa are not mere campfire tales designed to thrill. They are woven into its history of the prairie, reminding us that history doesn't just live in books and museums, but the very land beneath our feet. With each rustle in the corn and each silhouette against the setting sun, we are reminded that in Iowa, the spirits have stories, and the land speaks for itself. Thank you guys for joining me in this eerie episode of Tales Told in the Dark, Iowa Ghost Stories. So I hope to go and get more info on some of these legends and ghost stories, and maybe make a video of their own on some of them, and maybe dig deeper. Thank you all, and I love you, and I hope to see you next time.